Hello everybody, it's time for reading Mango and Bambang, The Not a Pig, written by Polly Faber, illustrated by Clara Vulliami. I noticed in one of my videos, either yesterday's or the day before, I sure had a grouchy face on it first, and I got rid of it, but I'm sorry about that. I sure did not mean to have a grouchy face, not when I'm reading to my favorite littles. Anyway, let's continue our story. We know that Bambang put on his brave hat and met the neighbor, Cynthia Pricklepose, and she was trying to make him one of her collectibles. She even removed a hyena or something from one of her cases, and she had Bambang trapped inside the case, which I guess doesn't sound very nice. It doesn't sound fair to Mango or to Bambang at all. But after all, Miss Pricklepose was a collector, so maybe she felt like she wasn't doing anything wrong, although Bambang knew better. This is called The Song of the Tapir. And there's my friend Buster. He's part of the reading audience today. Bambang did a lot more curling into a ball again in the days after meeting Cynthia Pricklepose. And despite Mango's gentle encouragement, he did rather less trying on of hats, too. Mango, although still somewhat wobbly in her own tummy about the whole thing, said that Bambang wasn't to worry, since their neighbor never stayed in her apartment for too long. She was also always going on expeditions. Mango was very relieved to be proved right about this. A week later, Mango and Bambang were returning with important supplies from the corner store when they saw Cynthia Pricklepose leaving the building. She was dressed in her full collector's outfit and was loading a taxi with lots of equipment, including a suit of armor, a lasso, and a cage with iron bars. She was obviously planning to hunt out some particularly unusual things. Bambang shuddered. He hoped they would take a very long time to find. He did not want to see Cynthia Pricklepose anytime soon. Mango and Bambang hid, not terribly successful, behind a lamppost. So there she is, loading all of her things into a taxi. And here they are hiding. When they say they're not being very successful, what does that mean, do you suppose? Yes, because Bambang is way wider than the width of that lamppost, so it's pretty hard for him to hide. Anyway, let's continue. They could feel the eyes of Cynthia Pricklepose watching them. She gave a loud harumph like an angry elephant. But then they heard the trunk being shut, and then the taxi driving away. Mango opened some of their important supplies to celebrate. Even with Cynthia Pricklepose gone, Bambang still felt troubled. Mango had given him so much. He wished he could give her something in return. So here they're going to celebrate that she's gone. They don't have to worry. They have some jalapeno popped pretzel puffs. They have cherry juice, lime juice, and some candy, I guess. Not sure what that is, and a pineapple. And then he got his chance. One day, Mango's footsteps, as she came home from school, were slower and heavier than usual, a change only a fine-tuned tapir's ear could hear. Bambang knew Mango needed a particularly loving head rub. She pulled his ears in a distracted way. Oh, phooey, Bambang, phooey and pooh. It's the big city concert tomorrow, and I just can't get my notes right. Papa's coming, and I so want to be good. I've been practicing and practicing my clarinet, but the more I practice, the worse I sound. I'm just not any good." Bambang thought Mango was wonderful. He was her biggest fan. He knew she was good at all sorts of things, making tapers happy and safe, for instance. That was the best thing of all to be good at. But he also knew that she was right about her clarinet playing. It didn't sound very good. He stroked her face gently with his snout. "Perhaps you don't have to play. Your papa will understand," he suggested. Mango was stern. "Now, Bambang, we've talked about this before. If one gives up on things just because they're hard at first, one never gets good at anything. Look at how good you've gotten at being brave about tigers and collectors. That's because you've practiced. I'll just have to practice all night." She looked a little determined and a little sad. Bambang nodded. Mango's attitude was inspiring. He just wasn't sure more practicing was the answer this time. He had a thought. Perhaps he could be of use. "Sometimes," he said gently, "music needs to be felt as well as played. What's the piece that you're playing tomorrow, and how do you feel when you're playing it?" "Well, it's called City Nights, and I feel worried and a bit cranky," said Mango immediately. "Then that's what we need to work on," said Bambang. His thought was clearer now, "and I know just how to help." So he's asking her, he's thinking about how he needs to be better at not being afraid of tigers or getting away from them. And he's trying to encourage her to feel her music so that she will play it better, because he says it doesn't sound very good. So instead of telling her it doesn't sound good, he's telling her that she needs to feel it. It was very nearly midnight. Mango was woken by a taper blowing softly in her ear. She put on her slippers, picked up her clarinet case, and followed Bambang out of the apartment. It was time for an adventure. Have you ever been out somewhere you normally only go in the daytime, but instead go very late at night? It feels quite different and new. Standing in the darkness in her pajamas, Mango bounced on her toes and clapped her hands. "Oh, this is lovely! Where shall we go first?" So here's the clock. It's very late at night. It's after midnight, or it's right before midnight. And here is the big city where she lives, and maybe the park or outside. And she's been here a lot during the day, but never late at night. The streetlights made glowing pools. The dark shadows beyond their reach seemed extra black. But Bambang, even without a brave-making hat on, was not a bit scared of the dark. He knew his nose and ears would not let him down. He caught an interesting scent on the warm night, the breeze, and set off to follow it. Mango kept her hand on his shoulder. It was her turn to need a little reassuring. Bambang was her reassurance. They passed open doorways with the sounds of music and laughter spilling out. Mango looked in curiously, but Bambang didn't stop. The very busy city was less busy at night. People passing them in the street walked more slowly, arm in arm, chatting to each other in low voices. The vehicles were different and slower too. Mango felt Bambang give a nervous shiver as the whirring brushes of a street cleaning truck passed by. She gave him a squeeze. "No tigers, no collectors either," she said. So here they are. They're walking along in the dark. And grown-ups are still up, and they're up very late, by the way. But they're still out and about, but Mango is usually sleeping at this time. They reached the main square, and here it was so busy. A collection of small wooden stalls had been set up, all lit with colorful paper lanterns. They were selling many different delicious things to eat, the smells that had beckoned to Bambang. Here, too, there was music. A group of musicians with stringed instruments was playing, and people were dancing. Mango bought a cone of candied nuts and a paper bag of fresh pineapple fritters. They shared them as they walked along. "This is a wonderful treat, Bambang, but I still don't understand how it's going to help me play my clarinet tomorrow," said Mango. "Just a little bit farther," said Bambang. So it's kind of like an outside, kind of like a farmer's market, but they're selling, and it's at nighttime, there's paper lanterns, and people are dancing, playing instruments, and enjoying food together. Oh, here is the candied nuts, and then the pineapple fritters. I guess that's fried pineapple. Only when they reached a wide stone bridge did Bambang stop. Running through the heart of the very busy city was a river. By day, its brown waters carried ships full of cargo and people in and out of the town. By night, the water was calmer. Mango and Bambang hung over the edge. They watched the reflection of the round yellow moon swirl and shimmer in the current. So there it is. There's the moon shimmering in the current. The current is the way the water's moving. Farther down the river, the end of the city and the beginning of the ocean were just in sight. Beyond that, a long way beyond that, lay Bambang's jungle. Everything was still and quiet. So here they are, leaning over. You see the big city and the moon. And of course, Malaysia's a long way past, right? "Now," said Bambang, "get out your clarinet." "But I didn't bring my sheet music with me," said Mango. "What would I play?" Bambang didn't answer. Instead, he looked out to sea, lifted his head, and began to sing. All baby tapers learn the song of the tapir before they can even talk. It may be the oldest song of all, passed down unchanged from mother to calf for hundreds and hundreds of years. Its simple whistled notes speak of jungles and tigers and love and loss and the niceness of bananas as nothing else can. Very few people have ever been allowed to hear the song of the tapir. Mango was one of them. She listened. She felt. She understood. She picked up her clarinet and began to play. Together they made music. They sent up their song over the city, down the river, out to the sea, and beyond the sea. It was beautiful and good. The next day, in the concert hall, the audience was packed in. Bambang sat toward the back next to Mango's papa. He was finding it hard to remember he could be brave in a crowd and was trying really hard not to curl up into a ball. There had been some confusion at the door about the correct ticket price for a tapir. Nobody quite seemed to know. Files had been checked, and he'd heard the pig word muttered. So here we go. Rules. That's the rule book. I guess people are checking it. And then it says adult, child, and senior prices for tickets. A lady with a bustling, almost collectorish air, dressed in an unfortunate dress of orange stripes, tried to squeeze past Bambang to get to her seat. She made loud tutting and sighing noises. Bambang felt panicky. Would it be better to leave now? There was still time to run. He started looking for the exit. Uh-oh. I think he thinks maybe she's a tiger. But he was stopped by the lights beginning to go down. The theater was darkening. There was a fanfare, and the following announcement was made. We are honored to have the governor of our great city and his family attending our concert tonight. Please show your appreciation for all they do." Everyone clapped, and a spotlight shone on a group of people in a box of extra special velvet and gold seats off to one side. Bambang, who couldn't clap, looked up and saw something so surprising that he forgot about finding the exit. There he is looking up. I wonder what the surprise is going to be. Standing next to the governor, looking much less grubby but rather sulky, was George from the tree in the park. Bambang waved his snout to say hello. George caught sight of him, stopped looking sulky, and waved back. He lifted up a bag of caramels and winked. So George is the governor's son. The governor's in charge of the city. And George, remember, he liked to get in the tree because he got tired of waving and being in parades, because at that time we didn't know he was the governor's son, but now we do. The concert began. They sat through a rather loud trumpet, a rather quiet harp, a very screechy violin, and a boy who played the harmonica with his nose. Then it was Mango's turn. Bambang held his breath as she came out on stage. She looked smaller than usual on her own under the lights. "I'm going to play City Nights." Mango took a breath and lifted her clarinet to her lips. Then she let her breath out and lowered her clarinet. "I am going to play City Nights," she said again, "but I'd rather not play it on my own. I have a very special friend in the audience. Last night, he showed me what music can be. I play better when he's with me. Bambang, won't you come down? Or won't you come up?" Mango shielded her eyes from the glare of the lights and looked out over the rows of heads. Bambang froze. He didn't know what to do. Could he get on a stage? Could he face all those people? He'd never done anything like it before. But then he'd never done anything much except run and hide before he'd met Mango. How many of the world's wonders he had missed that way. He could do anything with Mango. He would do anything for Mango. She'd ask him because she'd needed him. Trembling but determined, he rose from his seat, walked down the aisle, and climbed up onto the stage. He looked up at Mango, and she smiled down at him. Bambang knew he was safe. He'd found his home. Mango put her clarinet to her lips once more and then lowered it again. In case anyone isn't perfectly clear, Bambang is a tapir, not a pig, or a panda, or a badger, or a horse, or a skunk, or a rhino. A tapir. And he's my best friend. Then she put her clarinet to her lips, and she kept it there. And they played, and they sang together, just as they had on the bridge. And when they finished, the audience found their handkerchiefs and wiped their eyes and blew their noses and clapped and clapped and clapped, while Mango and Bambang bowed and bowed and bowed. And every single person in that audience now knew what a tapir was, just like you do. And here they're saying, "Hurrah! Hurrah! Bravo!" And they're throwing their programs because they're so impressed. And there's Bambang, the tapir. And that, my friends, ends our last chapter book. So super fun. It was amazing, right? I didn't know much about tapirs, and I certainly didn't know they made a sound, and I think I'm going to go on Google and see if there is such a thing as the song of the tapir. Thank you so much for listening. You've been a great audience to all the stories that we've read, and I so appreciate that. I always want you to remember, every day, all day, forever, I want you to remember all those things about yourself. Remember, I am smart, I am kind, I am honest, I am silly, I am brave, I am loved. I send you off with my virtual hug, and I want you to know that this time of reading with you and to you has been very fun. All of these books were new for me, and I'm sure you had a favorite or two, and so did I, but I still loved reading all of them anyway. I hope that you are having a most amazing day. Take care and know that I send you all my love. Bye-bye.